Hi, I'm Ashley Howe, and I'm going to do an analysis on Tom's of Maine. Tom's of Maine is a business that produces natural care products. They originated in the 1970s, and they continue to fight their way to the top of the natural products market. Now, there are two macro-environmental factors that mainly affect Tom's of Maine. The first being demographics, the types of people and where they live. And the second is economics, as in how much money people make. Now, there are also micro-environmental factors, and there are two of those. First, our customers, their wants and needs. That's what Tom's of Maine really needs to figure out in order to sell their products. Number two is competitors. They need to figure out what their competitors are doing and how they're selling products to their current consumers in order to, market their own products. Market segmentation is basically filing different people into groups based on what their wants and needs are. And for example, Tom's of Maine might classify women in their 20s who have a college degree or who make a certain amount of money per year, and those people might be most likely to buy products made by Tom's of Maine. And then Tom's of Maine would decide to market directly to those people. This would help the company because Tom's of Maine would be able to identify who wants to buy their products, and then they market specifically to those people. This brings us into targeting, and we are able to target from what we learned with market segmentation. So now that Tom's of Maine knows that, say, that group of 20-plus-year-old women would be interested in buying their products, they can then use whatever targeting strategies Tom's of Maine might come up with to target to that specific group of 20-year-old women who make a certain amount of money a year. I believe that Tom's of Maine has done very well with targeting their groups of people because at my job, I'm a cashier, I see these people who constantly buy these products, and it's very, very consistent. So that's what leads me to believe that Tom's of Maine has done a very good job thus far. Okay, so now we're reaching positioning, and positioning is all about customer perception and, really getting into the minds of your customers and creating a place in the customer's mind for that product. Currently, I think that Tom's of Maine does very well with the look of their packaging. It's not bright, it's not shiny, it's mostly just white with blue lettering, and I think that really stands out to customers as a natural product, and it stands out to them because it doesn't look like all of the other natural care products. In the future, what I think Tom's of Maine should do for positioning would be to offer a better price than their competitors. And I believe that will really be able to create a position in the mind of their consumers. Now we're on to the marketing mix. Now, for their product, I really think that Tom's of Maine did well making a natural product readily available. You can pick up Tom's of Maine at Rite Aid, at Hannaford, and then obviously at natural food stores like Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. So I think that they did very well at creating a natural product that's also readily available wherever people want to buy them. The only thing I think that they really struggle with in the marketing mix would be price. Because while it's not generally more expensive than other natural products, it is still a lot more expensive than like Colgate or Dove or whatever other personal care products people might consider buying. So I think that if Tom's of Maine was able to bring their prices down to the cost of what Colgate charges for their toothpaste or what Suave charges for their lotion, I believe they will be able to soar to the top of the natural products market because people would much rather buy a product that's priced at what the other non-natural products are. Because, for example, I think their toothpaste costs $4.50 or something along the lines of that, while another non-natural brand costs $2, and people would rather pay $2 for a natural product than, spending a ton of money for a competitor. Place, like I mentioned before, the Toms of Maine products are readily available wherever you shop, basically. And that is huge because a lot of other competing brands that are natural, like Toms of Maine, aren't as available as Toms of Maine. So I think that really gives them an edge up on the competition. Promotion is something I think Toms of Maine really needs to work on. I believe that if they spent more money on radio ads or maybe even a commercial, then they would draw in a lot more customers, because right now Toms of Maine is really just relying on people seeing them in the store, walking by the shelves and seeing their toothpaste, their soaps, their lotions. And while it seems to be doing very well for them, I think that they could also improve and do better in the future. So now this leads me to the question of, do I think Toms of Maine is going to be successful? Yes, I certainly do think that Toms of Maine is going to be successful because the natural products market is growing and these products are in high demand because nobody wants animal byproducts in their soaps and their toothpaste. Nobody wants these products to be tested on animals. And the more that this problem is growing, the more that people don't want animal byproducts or animals to be harmed in the process of creating these products is become more renowned, the more products Toms of Maine will sell. And that is a huge reason why I think Toms of Maine will be successful. They also give 10% of profits towards helping the community, helping people better the environment. And I think that there are people who will shop Toms of Maine products just because they give money back into the environment. And I think that's a really huge part of Toms of Maine and what their company does. Just some personal insight. As I mentioned before, I'm a cashier and I see people who buy this product constantly. They don't buy anything else once they have bought Toms of Maine. They just stick with that product, and I see it more and more as time goes on. And I think that's a huge indicator of how Toms of Maine is going to do in the future. Since I'm seeing people buy this product more. That is why I believe people will just say goodbye to products like I said before, Colgate, and move on to natural products like Toms of Maine. And as long as Toms can continue to advertise themselves more, I think they're really going to take over this market.